Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to another episode of the Cheatcoders podcast. This is episode number 109.
109.
And I'm here with my usual suspects of doing stuff.
What's doing?
And all the way in Sydney,
Right
we
here.
have
What?
Nats Blazing. The first time
What's
that we are
up,
together
bro? First time, man.
in one room doing
good
the
to see you
podcast was
guys.
just unbelievable.
Yep,
And
exactly.
we have some guests because this is a special episode. And
Special.
with a special episode, we have to have some special guests. We have the boys from Midknight. We have Renny and
What's
AJ. What's up?
What's good? How we doing?
Hey. So to the audience that have no clue of what you guys do and what you create, what type of art you create, can you please give a little slight description so that they could find you and start off the podcast?
Because I think
tell us who you are.
because I think you guys
We want to
do.
know your soul.
You guys do more than that's
oh
all
my
right.
God,
you guys
yo,
do
we-
more than one thing.
Yeah.
That's not just the one thing that you guys do. You're not just. So start off with Midnight.
Sure.
What is Midnight?
And then get into the afternoon.
Cheers to the afternoon. All right, cool. Midnight.
Skip the morning.
We're starting at midnight. And
start at midnight.
Man, midnight is hard to explain, but I guess the easiest way to explain it is like think of entertainment solutions,
Oh, I
whatever
like
that might mean for you. You know what I
I like
mean?
that.
So like we're kind of here to facilitate the arts culture and entertainment culture starting out at Southwest Sydney.
Yeah.
And for us, that looks like music. For us, that looks like, this kind of stuff, podcasts. For us, that might, any medium that might let you kind of express yourself, we're here to help bring that to the forefront.
Nice. And then DM season. So DM season is the other thing, the other project that you guys have going.
Yeah, so on top of being, business people, we're also artists at the same time. So
Nice.
we make music. We're both vocalists in a group called the DM SZN, which is an R&B hip hop group consisting of 4 people. Got a shout out to our people Rudy and Annalise. who are also
Shouts
part
out
of
to
the DM
them.
SZN. So we've just been doing our thing for the past year and a half and
Nice.
doing some pretty big moves.
So what's DM season stand for?
DM SZN is just
It's like sliding in the DMs.
That's
And
exactly it, man.
It's pretty much that.
That's
It's
exactly
like
it.
the whole idea behind it was actually the DM SZN was the name of an EP we were gonna make under 4 solo artists. But then we started getting into it and we performed a couple of times. People were like, "Yo, this is some good shit," and we thought, you know what? Let's just turn this EP into a group.
Yeah.
We'll become the DM SZN instead, which is the sort of topics that we're supposed to touch on. Were intended to be stuff that you'd see in a DM. So like, relationship talk,
yeah, what you doing?
fuckboy love.
It's kind of like
What love?
Fuckboy love. man.
fuckboy love,
Like Drake?
It's kind of like our
Drake.
version.
It's fake love though, but
That's my kind of
You know.
rap.
It's kind of like our version of talking about like modern day relationship
Yeah.
stuff, but the 2019, 2020 version.
Right.
Are you
That's
guys
what that looks
rappers
like.
or singers?
I'm a rapper.
You sing?
yeah, mostly singing.
Would
Nice.
be
Yeah.
insulting
You
to
can tell by
singers
the-
if I
the
call myself
outfits.
Yeah, I
a
could
singer.
tell. I was
The singer's wearing the button up.
Yeah.
The rapper's wearing the hat.
It's like Don in his vest, us in our caps.
Yeah, that's it. But in terms of like I don't know, it's a random question. So
Yeah.
there's 4 of you, right? DM
Yeah.
season. So there's 4 seasons in a year, right?
Ooh.
Ooh.
So who would be each of those seasons?
Which-
Who's the
which
summer
season
of the
are
group?
you?
Who's the winter of the group?
Hey.
Who's the
my
spring?
God.
That's cool.
This is
And
the
who's-
best question.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's a dope question. That's crazy. I've never.
Cheatcoders.
All right, I don't want to speak for Annalise and Rudy.
Speak
but
for yourself.
Speak
If
for
I were to
yourself.
speak for myself,
Yeah.
I'd probably say I am the autumn time.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
He went for
fall
safe.
for,
He went for safe.
I
Just
fall.
safe.
You
That's
fall
the
a
thing.
lot?
I'm always
You fall.
falling. That's
Yeah.
always my thing. But I always manage to get myself back up.
You fallen.
Damn.
But also at the same time, I feel like I have all these, like I have too many things going on in my head. So like my mindset is always changing, always growing.
Okay.
So you
Change.
fall a lot, and everyone
Fall.
tends to leave you.
Oh my!
We're getting real deep into
Oh,
it.
Did you write this shit down, bro? Did you get that pun, bro? You just missed the pun.
And I got it, bro.
Oh shit!
He's getting into it.
I'm getting into it.
He's
That's
getting
what
into
we're
it.
getting into right now.
I got it, bro. I
The
got it.
entendre.
But that's what I would say. I'd probably
100%,
say that
I
I'm
got
the
that.
the autumn time.
Hey, how about
Yeah.
you, Renny?
Renny.
That's
Look,
pretty
um,
good.
Summer for sure, bro.
I ain't
You're
summer,
wearing a
bro.
summertime shirt
Ah.
right now,
Look,
man.
I'm wearing summertime,
These
but I ain't
pineapples
summer.
is loud.
Look, let me tell you something.
I'm
about
sorry, I
cold.
couldn't hear you over his shirt.
It's because he's not
Whoa! Yo, can I give you guys a quick background about this?
You did it to yourself, man.
Look, man,
You did this to yourself.
Talk about this
you want to
shirt.
bring some heat onto the table, bro? I walked into this room, right? This fella, he's wearing this lemon shirt. I thought he looked like.
I was wearing a lemon shirt.
Yeah, man.
I look good in the
It
lemon
was like
shirt, so I
this,
don't
but it
care.
was lemons, and it was like down in here. Like he had these buttons undone,
All the way to
sitting
his
here looking
navel.
like a fruit snack. And I was like,
Thank you, man.
I was
Thank
like,
you.
bro, let's sit next to each other because we'll be tropical and shit. And then these boys bullied him out of the shirt, and he just got up and switched shirts twice.
No. I had to
Twice.
represent one of our sponsors,
Twice.
which is the Young Achievers.
Right.
Shout outs to Young Achievers, who are a local clothing brand, and they're doing good stuff for the community. So shout outs to you guys, and that's why I changed my shirt.
That's
And
right.
that's a segue. That's a segue.
All right, we'll give you that one. We'll give you that one. Look. So, Renny, what season
Which
would you
season are
say
you in?
that you?
I ain't summer, bro.
You ain't summer.
No, I ain't summer.
You're not
I ain't summer. I honestly would say I'm a winter guy.
Ooh, ice cold.
Ice
Ice
cold.
cold.
Ice cold, but
But snuggly, you know?
opportunistic
Opportunities.
to get cozy in that.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
I like being inside. I like being indoors.
Yes, you do like to be.
You know?
Sorry.
Oh, right. Yo, wait, is this a PG show? It's not.
not a
I like
PG
to be
show.
inside. Straight up in it. I'm give a
Oh,
fuck.
man.
No, but for real, man. That's
For real.
You like to be an indoors person
I'm an indoors
by
guy.
the fire. So you can say that because you're an R&B singer. You
Yeah,
like the
guys.
winter. You want to be a bit more romantic.
I think so, man.
You like to be singing in the rain.
You know, like I think there's
I
a
could
big.
have one wish.
Keep going, keep going.
You got it. You
Yeah.
got it bad.
Don't stop.
Yo,
man.
is this a DM season audition right now? What's going on?
No, man.
thought I came to
I'm sliding him in, man.
Sliding in
Talking
them
about the DMs right
DMs.
now.
Sliding
It's the
into
season.
DM season.
Now look. There's a one misconception that I think people have of me, which is I think it's the way that I dress as well. It's kind of like, Rennie's like the outgoing dude. I'm quite introverted, to be honest.
Because you're an artist.
I think so. I am in my feelings most of the time, but I'm like really chill when I have the time to be chill. And it's only it takes a few buttons to push for me to get like really lit. But it's very like you gotta
Yeah, it
be
takes
around the right people, gotta be around the right energy.
Yeah.
But I would say that I'm a winter guy. I'm not
So-
very like.
Snow?
You know what though? You know
Snow,
what?
winter,
Can I
or like
say
winter?
something though? I
Yeah.
think if we're talking about the first thing that came to my head when you said who's who, and you can't speak for the rest of us, I think I can speak for Annalise. Hot Girl Summer would be her theme song.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Rudy's a springtime.
Rudy
I
gets
guess.
the
By
leftovers.
default.
Rudy gets the
Whatever's
leftovers.
left, I guess. Sorry, bro.
And he's happy with the leftovers.
I feel.
Wow. Damn.
Just bullying him.
Yo, shout out Rudy. We love you.
Shout out to Rudy.
We need to get another episode with you.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
gotta
so
get
like
them.
with
They
the
need
whole
to
team.
review it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
for
like,
sure.
spring is like not summer yet, not hot yet, but it's there.
Yeah.
Like he's not fully there yet. He's growing as an artist. We'll get there.
Oh, shouts to Rudy, bro.
Shout out to
Nah,
Rudy.
it's all love. It's
reckon
all
you're a
love. It's
great
all love.
person.
So you were talking about energy just then, and obviously the four of you guys have a really good energy, good dynamic between you guys. That's why you formed the group. But how did DM Season come about? Did you know each other beforehand? Were you? You obviously said that you were separate artists, separate musicians and stuff. How did DM Season come together? Did you guys slide into each other's DMs?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably start off by saying that's exactly how our friendship started.
Yeah.
I slid into his
Okay.
DM like, yo, what's good? What's good, baby?
Who slid into whose DMs?
I don't
I don't remember.
man. We were part of a hip hop appreciation page on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there would have been a post where both of us were like interacting on. I think it was like a cipher.
Yeah.
Someone put up a cipher beat, and they were like,
How long ago was this?
2010.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're nearing about 10 years.
Wow.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. So that's us.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you. And I went to school with Rudy. He was in a year below me, and Rudy's in a band used to be in a band with Annalise, and so we all just sort of like we kind of knew of each other. Like Renny knew of Rudy through me, and knew of Annalise through Rudy through me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I guess we just all sort of came together. Like we were always close friends, and the idea came to do a collaborative project before it was the DM Season. And then, that was the kind of evolution. We went from doing an EP called the DM Season to actually just being a team because we figured the working dynamics worked well. So
Yeah.
And it seems like everything just became like an organic transition. Like you guys weren't planning anything; it just happened.
Nah.
You just went with the flow, went with the seasons, and it just came to be to what it is now. So, in terms of like, how did you guys decide to continue that relationship into a business aspect?
Oh yeah, man. I think overall, as the DM Season, we were, you know, a lot of the work that we were doing was sort of, we would take on different roles within the group. So like, you know, reaching out, networking, managing, you know, that type of thing. You know, some of us would be doing like the choreography side of things, some of us doing the set lists, the audio. And it just so happened that, you know, the two of us mostly were the ones who were sort of dealing with the network and the managing side of things. And we were sort of orchestrating and sort of organizing events for ourselves, you know, finding the gigs, finding different artists to try and get us get on with us as well. So we would be able to do like, you know, a couple of shows with a few support acts. We'd chuck a theme on it as well. And then we realized, look, why don't we just try to do this as like a sort of business, build a network for each other. And I guess like overall we basically said, look, I think we can actually do something more than just be a band and actually, you know, empower other artists. We can, you know, really sort of do more than just perform. We can really bring together like a bigger show. And that's what we were always trying to do. Every single show we had in mind was, how can we top the last one? How can we make, you know, our friends and family support come back and see a new aspect to the show? And that's when we thought, we're just sitting down like, look, let's start something a bit bigger than what the DM season is, because we want that for like longevity for the area, something that would actually, you know, last and have a bigger impact than just being an artist.
Yeah, and I think we started looking into, or we started just talking about like the type of work that we do with and for our friends as well, in terms of mixing, mastering, and helping other artists record. Like a lot of my friends that do music record at my house.
Nice.
And we were seeing that, you know, capability between the two of us and seeing like there was a lot that we can actually do. We can actually turn this into a business model and, you know, start a studio of our own, start, you know, just creative sort of solutions for whatever people might need, whether it's graphics, audio, any sort of, you know,
So the whole round.
So that's that's the inception of Midknight.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Why is
That's
it?
how
Why
I
did
like it as
you?
well.
Why did you call yourselves Midnight? Is it because that's where music kind of
Happens.
gets created?
It's a great question.
Yeah. Look,
I don't even know the story.
me neither, but I do remember having a long session. We were playing basketball at the time, right? Sweating our asses off. We were playing at Mount Annan indoors, and we were just like, bro, we should talk about the name of this thing that we're gonna start.
Yeah.
And so we were going through like a whole bunch of different names, like
Oh, I don't even want to say some of these
I don't want to
names.
say them
Can you
either.
please?
But look, we were
At
talking
least
about
one or
we'll
two.
talk,
Just one or
yeah.
two.
because at the time we were thinking, let's incorporate the DM season's name with something that AJ had,
Yeah.
which was
I had a brand.
Harbor-
I had a whole sort of brand of my own that I was doing called Harbor City Entertainment. Same sort of idea, and that we kind of talked about using that as an umbrella. But I think we both kind of realized that like it really should be like our name. Like I don't want it to be something that is like my kid that like, you know, he adopted or whatever sort of thing.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
yeah.
So is your group under the? You said the umbrella, right? So
Yeah.
is Midnight I guess the movement with everything, all your
Yeah.
business
Yeah,
behind it, but
for
your
sure.
actual group is
The DM season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to be real, Midnight is DM season. Like that's where all the DMs start happening, right?
You have to hire this guy, man. He can be your marketing.
Right
dude.
in midnight. I
We
think
need,
that's
we
what
need- we
man.
need some more DMs, man. It's kind of lonely.
I'll send you some at midnight tonight, bro. It'll be
To all our listeners out there and all the viewers,
Hit us up
slide
at
into their
midnight.
DMs.
Slide into them DMs.
I like that you guys came from a place that the purpose behind Midnight was community and building up that culture. Was that always something that you've wanted to do, or did it come from that idea of being around people who are like-minded, like you guys?
I feel like naturally it always starts off being like, how do I better myself? You know? But and like this was sort of my experience was seeing guys like Renny, seeing guys like Rudy, people like Annalise and stuff. And even our VP Matt, shout out to Matt, just walked in.
Shout outs.
What up?
Like these guys all kind of want the same goal of not just success, but you know, everybody is like, when you think about it from that point of view, like there are similar people trying to achieve the same mission as you.
Yeah.
And so I think that's when the mindset tends to switch anyway. And the work is overwhelming. Like, you know, this kind of stuff isn't, you can't really do it by yourself.
100%.
for yourself. You know what I mean? Like at one point you do have to realize that you need a team behind you, and then when you bring that team behind you, it's like, all right, this can't just be about I got to feed everybody here. You know, I got to feed the community, sort of thing.
When did that point happen? Like in terms of like age, because I think in my theory, in terms of like as you go older, at the beginning of like I have this theory like 20s is just when you start doing things for yourself. You're realizing that you got to do things for yourself, and then when you hit your 30s or even in the late 20s, that's when you begin to realize that there's more around you.
It's bigger
and
than
then
just
that's
you.
when you start doing things not only for yourself but the people around you. So when did that point come into play in your career where you had decided that, you know what, let's start this business move because this is going to uplift the people around us?
I think for me at least, the seed was planted as soon as I said, let's do a collaborative EP called the DM Season.
Yeah.
Because to begin with, all of us were sort of hungry artists trying to get somewhere for ourselves, right? And my dreams being a pop star became really. I realized how unrealistic it was because you got to be really able to just drop everything and really leave and fully commit to it, let go of your job. And at the time I already had a full-time job, so I didn't want to do that. So forming the DM Season was a start that sort of helped me realize later on that, there's 4 of us that we have to be accountable for, responsible for. Now that we're actually, together, now we've formed the group and we have other connections that we even brought in, like past connections from like 10 years ago. Like I'm hitting up guys from back in the day who are now saying like we've got something as well, let's work together. And that's what sort of helped us realize like maybe being a business can actually link all of these things together into one whole like package, and then that's how we push forward.
That's a similar experience for me as well. I think when Renny came to us with the DM Season idea, at first I was a little hesitant because I was so used to doing things just me. And I think once I started to see, like, I guess I just saw the impact that we had as a team, as the 4 of us. And that made me think, damn, like this, I wouldn't have been able to do that just me. You know what I mean? So
I like that.
I love that because like this is kind of like how the Cheatcoders came to be. Like you do things unknowingly for something that will happen in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you made connections, you've created these networks in a certain part of your life, not knowing that you're going to be creating a business that could help those connections.
That's right.
Like for example, this Cheatcoders things this podcast that we have, we've made so many connections, networking through the music that we created back then, through the events that we created back then, and now we have this podcast to actually connect with those people and share their stories.
Yeah.
And back then we didn't even know we are going to do a podcast. It's crazy how things just happen. And it prepares you for what you can do in the future. And in your case is you found a community, not only, but because you found this passion for music and you share it. And now you have this opportunity to build a business and actually excel the culture
100%
through your past
100%
and into your future.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of, bringing Matt on board as well. That was the sort of thinking as well. It's like, man, outside of music, people still have ideas about commerce, about business, about, growth and, how to grow an organization and that kind of stuff. That's how we got in touch, because Matt isn't a creative, he's not a musician by any standards sort of thing. He's a businessman, he's a project manager. Yeah. And so
you know what I really admire the most out of you guys? I'm getting a lot of like just remembering back in the day before Cheatcoders, I'm seeing a lot of like reflective pieces of these things happening. But what I admire the most about you guys is, how old are you guys again?
27.
27.
I'm 23.
23. Shit. Okay, 23. Damn.
23.
Okay. So like what I'm trying to say is, back then, I don't know about you guys, but we had a group a long time ago.
Right.
And there was just so much ego. It was all rappers. And while we were a group, it was almost like everyone was trying to one-up each other. Yeah. And we didn't really play to our strengths. Everyone wanted to be the forefront. But the difference is, like, one thing that we've only learned recently is just, let people play on their strengths. Like 100%. Raph does the moderating. I just talk a lot of shit. And then Don's like the context guy. And like, it took a lot of like, let's let go of the ego. It's not about who's getting the shine, whatnot. But obviously in the group, there's 4 of you as well. Is there ever times that you guys do clash or anything like that, or?
Of course, man. Like it's just known,
How do you guys handle that when you guys get into?
We get pretty it still stays civil as it possibly can, and I think that just goes based on, it's a reflection of our personalities, right? Like we're not the type of people. I'm pretty chill.
Yeah.
And overall, like, you know, everyone's gonna have different ideas no matter what. Especially being artists and creatives, man. Like we love to keep our, you know, we want to maintain our ideas to as much as we possibly can. But there's a lot of compromise, especially between 4 artists. I guess all we sort of look at is what's going to be most beneficial for all of us as a group.
Yeah.
You know, we try to look in sort of the bigger picture rather than sort of, you know, each person's individual interests at the time. Only because, you know, we've been doing, like, I've been making music since I was like 15, you know, and doing things myself. I've experimented in so many ways that now I'm kind of just like, look, if you think this is going to work, go for it.
Yep.
And as long as I get you guys to support, if you're going to support and commit to this, then I'm 100% down for it. I think, in terms of like bringing up new ideas and things, we're pretty open to trying things. Like, say, for example, we'll have a set and we want to try doing this song this time, and we'll see how the crowd receives it. And if it's good, we'll come back every other time after a gig, and we'll talk about, you know, how do we do well? What should we improve on? What shouldn't we do anymore? And then we'll figure it out there. And then for the next gig, we'll just be like, we'll cut this song out if we have to. You know, it's like, this goes along with like songwriting and stuff as well. So we'll have a sit down and a vote. But, you know, the most conflict would occur when we'd be writing a song. Yeah. But that's just natural, man. Yeah. Like, it's all good.
And in those sort of situations for us, you know, we just want to always, you know, be open with our communication. Like, we start off every team meeting with like, what's going on in your life? How you feeling? You know what I mean? Let's talk about because we're all friends, you know. At the end of the day, we all have like 9-10 year friendships. And at the end of the day, like, we do care about each other. And so it's, you know, just checking in, how's everyone feeling, being considerate of that kind of stuff. And then, you know, if we do have like a disagreement or whatever, and it's just, you know, having that like cool down period, and it's like awkward for that like half an hour while you still got to be in the same room and like work and stuff. And then afterwards, it's just like, yo, listen, I'm sorry that this happened this way. This is my point of view. And then it's usually just sorted.
Yeah. How often do you guys have your team meetings?
Typically after each gig.
Yeah.
And when we're sort of in music making mode, it tends to be like at least every fortnight sort of thing. Like when we were making Volume 1, we were at least seeing each other once a week. On Sundays, that was the DM sessions. You know, we'll come over to my place, chill out,
That's nice. I like
eat some
that.
food, and we'll make music and you know, see each other. And then that would be like our team meeting, because we talk through our agenda and what we're going to be doing that day, kind of thing. Yeah,
I like that a lot. There's a saying that goes, if you want to go fast, you go by yourself, and if you want to go far, you go together.
That's good. I like that.
And that saying, like, that reminds me of you guys, the way you guys are talking about DM SZN and Midknight. But I want to talk about you guys individually for a moment. You said that Renny, you've been doing music since you were 15, and you and I met years ago.
Yeah.
But you had a different name back then.
Yes, I did.
Do you want to say that name?
Wait, which version? Which version are we talking about?
Look, man. To all these viewers, I had like 4 names.
4 different aliases.
Let's go through all of them.
Okay, look, the first one was Vongstar, and that was back.
Whoa!
Back up.
TV
I don't even know
days.
about this one. Wait, what?
Say again?
Vongstar.
Vongstar.
Can you spell that?
VONGSTA.
Oh, okay, I heard something else. Sorry.
Do you remember it?
Do you know it? Never mind.
Okay.
No,
this was back when like people were sea-walking. We had all our hair like nice and like spiky and that.
Oh, you probably sea-walked to his music.
You know, I probably did.
Yeah,
Probably did.
I probably did,
Yeah,
man.
He was the sea-walk music
I was a
king.
sea-walk guy.
Yeah, man.
You know?
that was my thing.
Actually, I remember your name from back in the day. Yeah.
That's the
actually,
Pinoy
I did.
rapper.
Were you one of those?
I did actually. You know, funny thing is, the creepy thing is, I cut it off and it's still in a plait, and I've left it like in a cupboard somewhere.
Gross.
Hold on to your,
It's just
to your youth.
It's like a voodoo thing.
Look, man,
It's kind of weird, bro.
it's very weird. But look,
It's kind of weird, though.
look, we're about half an hour into this interview, so if you're paying attention, then good on you. You know,
So you crypt walk, yeah?
Yeah. Back then I did.
One
And that's
question
what
for the crip walking thing. Like, did you really clean your shoes when you wiped your?
No, man.
I'm just making sure.
This was like pure, just like.
It's all in
they
this.
kept
It's
cleaning
style,
them.
My
bro.
favorite move was the snake, man.
The snake.
How's it go?
It's
How's it go?
Sideways.
You want
and
to show us like?
No, I don't. But like,
Come on,
We'll do it off
Rockstar.
camera. Off camera.
we'll do it off camera. No, you know, we'll do a.
We'll do an
Instagram.
Five-way montage. Five-way sea-walk.
You gotta teach
dedications
us. Give us a
video.
We have
tutorial.
to bring back the sea
We'll bring it
videos.
back. We're
out.
gonna dedicate it to one girl each.
Can you do it to my
And then
song?
put their photos at the end, and then put a S2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
S2.
Yo, I think I
Remember these
have
back
to
in the
go.
day?
There's two baby girl with
I think
the
I
you.
gotta-
And an Asian
He's
prize.
too young for this.
picture.
I missed out on this, man.
Bro, you were like
Missed out on
10.
this whole-
Yeah,
Yeah, you were like 10, bro.
Yeah, I was less
You
than
were
that.
10.
I was younger than that, bro.
Let's bring it back to the question at hand. So there was Vongstar.
There's
Yeah.
Vongstar.
Yeah, and there was
Visa Freak.
Visa Freak.
Whoa, whoa,
That's
whoa.
a freak. Did
Visa
you travel a
Freak.
lot?
Like VISA? Like a visa?
VEEZA.
Oh,
Like you weren't after visas all the
No, I
time,
didn't.
right?
No, I didn't need one. Like
Like
I
a
was
citizen.
I'm a
Global.
citizen.
Naturalized.
Anyways, this is
Australian.
when we met, man. We
Yeah.
met when I was Visa Freak.
Were you
Okay.
trying to get a green card?
Yeah.
I already made that joke, but it's all good.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, you can't
Damn,
double-
you're right.
double there.
We met at PCYC,
Yeah,
and I performed with Tim.
yeah. I was
Sister?
managing Tim at the
Yeah,
time.
Timber.
Oh.
And
Shout outs.
yeah, and what was the other guy?
Glenn Lamanta.
Glenn
Ooh,
was there
Glenn.
too. So
The
we
voice.
we all met back then, and then like that was it. Like I disappeared. These guys went off and did their own thing. Then I became Visa, shortened version of Visa Freak.
Wow.
This was the time when I started really trying to like become a pop star. I was trying to grow my international fan base through this singing app. It was good times, man. It was like karaoke every day.
Wow.
And then I was like, man, what the fuck am I doing with myself? I'm just gonna stop music for a while. And then I was like, look, let's become let's just be Renny Symf. I
Is
started
that the third name?
that's the fourth.
So what's the third name?
Visa. Vongstar, Visa Freak, Visa, and
Oh,
Renny
okay.
Symf.
Cut it down.
So I'm currently Renny Symf. I hopefully
Currently,
stay
for the next till the next financial year ends.
yeah. So we'll see what
Say
happens.
it's
Tax
26.
purposes.
Once I
And then
renew
we're
my
gonna have a
contract,
corporate
then
restructure, and then we'll
yeah.
see where we go
We'll
from
see
there.
what we do.
He's got all these taxes against the other names,
for
so he
tax
can't,
purposes.
can't go back to
It's
those.
for tax purposes.
He's
That's why
evading.
we're changing names.
Yeah.
Why did you change to Renny Symf, and what does Renny Symf mean?
All right, so I think overall as a person, I've changed a lot since becoming Renny Symf, and it's kind of like a reflection of the fact that I just don't care about a lot of things anymore as I used to before. I was like a big, overthinker. Used to be heartbroken by love and all this stuff. Used to sing and rap about love, do cheesy songs and whatever. I think now it's just like I'm more of a carefree guy. You guys can hit me with whatever.
That I go with like my own like sort
Your
of
name.
name.
Yeah.
And Aju just didn't sound cool enough, so I thought I'd make it AJU, like Notorious B.I.G. That's kind of where I was coming from.
Okay.
And then I don't know, over time the U just kind of fell off, and it was just AJ. It felt natural to me.
Mm.
It just felt like I stylized it like AY-J. I don't know, it had a certain appeal to me. It seemed very simple. I also like that it didn't make much sense to most people. I like that they were kind of like, why? Because
Yeah.
what? And then yeah, it's just sort of always stuck. And everybody everyone from my high school calls me AJ, so they don't really call me by my real name either. And so a lot of people just sort of know me as AJ.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're a rapper, right?
And I'm a rapper, yeah.
All right, top 3 dead or alive.
Ooh.
Here it goes. Here it comes. Gotta hit you
Top
with
3
that.
dead or alive.
This is gonna be interesting.
I'm gonna say for me, it has to be Jay-Z
Nice respect already. So much.
and Nas.
Oh,
Here
so
we
much
go.
respect.
New York.
All right, fuck. That's what I'm talking about. All right, sorry.
Those are always my top 2.
Who's
3 is like
is the wild card.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Speaking to
and
the mic,
say-
man. Speaking to the
I'm
mic.
gonna keep it New York and say Biggie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm shook, man.
I
didn't know that.
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
That's
me
actually
neither.
really dope, man.
Yeah.
Especially because you're 23.
Yeah.
What are you expecting? Like,
I don't know, like
I was-
Kendrick
I
or
was expecting
Cole,
J. Cole, man.
J. Cole, even
Yeah,
Drake.
J. Cole's my guy. Look, my top, like, you talking about top 3 of all time?
Yeah,
all
bro.
time, man.
And, like, not, like, my personal preference?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
'Cause
let's
my
go.
personal
Let's
preference-
go personal preference.
My
This is a
personal
conversation we have all of the time.
My personal preference is the 3 new guys. So it's Kendrick, Drake, and
The three,
J. Cole.
yeah.
Those are my
Okay.
top three.
That's the Nas, Jay-Z.
That's the Nas,
Nas,
Jay-Z,
Jay-Z
and
of
Biggie.
this-
I
of
feel,
that generation,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, maybe not directly, like, but yeah, like, but I think in terms of hip hop overall, if I had to give my opinion as to who I think is a top three, regardless of my personal preference, it would be Jay, Nas, and,
New York-
and Biggie.
New York
yeah,
head.
yeah.
Like
And
a
then
New York
what's in the categories that you put them in? Is it like do you judge them through technicality, the writing?
Yeah,
Lyricism.
I think did you say racism?
Lyricism.
Lyricism,
Racism.
yes. Lyricism, the whole deal. So like most people talk about just the rapping itself, the lyricism, flow, cadences, all of that. I'm talking about overall as an artist, as a performer as well. I feel a lot of people probably wouldn't like. A lot of people love Biggie, but I feel like Pac has talked a little bit more in terms of lyricism and things like that. But there's a lot of things I feel that Biggie brings to the table that completely changed the game in a way that.
Would you say because you're a rapper, you respect Biggie more? Because I find people that don't rap or really know technical rapping as much, they gravitate to Tupac more because it's more built on emotion,
Stories,
new
yeah.
songs, music. Whereas, because for me, 23, I was probably more of a West Coast ice,
Right.
simple,
Right.
Even Will Smith, man. I grew up
Yeah.
on Will Smith, bro.
Getting jiggy with it.
But it
Yeah.
took me a while to
Big
get into
era, man.
Biggie, to really appreciate Pac, Biggie, and Nas.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, holy, what the fuck?
I
Kind of thing.
I think it's less of me being a rapper and more of me. I always saw myself as a recording artist more so than a performing artist.
Fair enough.
And then that kind of changed with the DM season. So pre that, I used to admire guys that were just like great rappers and stuff, but it wouldn't go unnoticed the fact that these guys are incredible performers. And I think Biggie just had that charisma.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's what I drew to because that's something I thought I always lacked was that charisma on stage.
Yeah.
Or like being able to be on stage, being able to just walk into the room and you are like the guy.
You're the
You know
guy,
what I mean?
yeah. That's what Biggie had.
Yeah,
I like that.
I want to dwell on that a bit more.
Yeah.
In terms of like music, have you grown confidence once you started doing music? You found your lane. You found a way to express yourself. Has music become one of those tools that really helped your self-development through life, as in like how to grow? You're 23, bro.
Yeah, right. Man, that's
crazy.
like
It's tough.
yes, but it depends on what you mean because other artists more so than me for sure. Music has like for literally everyone on planet Earth, music has got me through some tough shit. You know what I mean? And music is probably the one thing in life that never let me down in terms of like getting me to a better place, growing myself, developing like professionally, personally, all that stuff. I use music for literally everything. In that same sense, making music has helped me grow as a person. But at the same time, like making music has now more than ever is teaching me a lot about how to deal with pressure, how to deal with stress and things like that. And, I think this schedule that Renny and I both have in terms of working full time and trying to do Midknight, trying to do DM season, trying to fit everything in, music being a part of that is teaching me and helping me grow a lot as a person.
Nice.
I don't know if that kind of answers your question.
Yeah,
but
that does. How about you, Renny? In terms of music, like, has it become one of those tools that really changed you as a person? Because, like, I could speak for myself and Nats, and like ever since before music, you could see that we are more introverted. We are more to ourselves. Very, like we would just sit in a corner. And once music came in, and then we started recording music, we kind of found our own voice, found ourselves, who we are in the future, and then we became more outgoing than we were. So that was kind of like one of those tools that really shifted our paths and made us into who we are today. So in terms of music for you, have you experienced that like that growth through music, or was it something else?
I think, yeah, definitely it has because, music gives you that ability to, create stories and, show different personas that you would never show in any other situation. Overall, for me, I think music has more been alongside me. It's sort of, I'm running next to music you know, since I've changed my name so many times throughout these years, it's sort of like running next to me, and it's changing with me as well. I think, yeah, my music is a reflection of my personality, more so than music has changed me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's difficult to say, you know, definitely music has made me been more of an open person. I think, you know, there's other factors in life that have you know, also led to making me, you know, more carefree, less of a worrier. You know, I think just overall, the answer would be yes. You know, I definitely respect music the same way AJ has. You know, it's taken me through, you know, it's gotten me through a lot of different areas in my life where I've struggled, or, you know, even when there's like good times, you know, this stuff augments those good times and it makes you feel
it's like a soundtrack
better, right?
to your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that.
I would say, if anything, it's more of like a companion, more than like something that changes you.
Yeah.
You know, the path of music is really up to you, what you decide to do with it. And then that way, that's how it affects you, rather than, you know, the life of music changes you. You choose that. Yeah.
I want to talk about something that AJ said, and we like to talk about like creatives, like the creative journey, or the journey of artists. You spoke about being a recording artist versus a performing artist.
Yep.
And a lot of people may not know the difference.
Yep.
For you guys, you obviously had said that you moved from becoming just a recording artist to also becoming a performance artist.
Yeah.
What instigated that change for you? And this is a question for both of you guys as well. And you know, how was it difficult for you to make that change?
Yeah, I mean, what instigated it was definitely the DM season. It was getting all these new gigs and being like, I can't just think about what I'm going to be doing on stage. I got to think about what Annalise is doing. Annalise, I use her name because she has the most stage experience.
Yep.
And so kind of watching her record and watching her perform, I'm like, damn, like these are two different games, you know? And so I think being a part of the DM season sort of kind of brought that you know, thought up. And what was the second part of the question?
Like, obviously you said it was difficult to make that change.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that difficulty, that obstacle there?
Man, I guess it's just about, I guess the best piece of advice for somebody who's struggling with that same kind of thing is just to get out of your own head and do it. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Being a recording artist, the big differences are that when you're recording music, if you're not thinking about the performance or how you're going to perform the song, you're just thinking about how to make that song sound good then and there. You don't care whose voice it is. You don't care what auto-tune, what this and that, you know what I mean? Like what effects you're putting on it, even though you can't replicate that kind of stuff on stage. You're just thinking about that. And for me, what changed, what was different, what I had to think about, what I had to overcome was that now when I'm making music, I got to think about, how am I going to perform this on stage? How's it going to play with the crowd? How are other people going to respond to it? You know, there's certain things in our songs in the DM season that, you know, like, for example, like Renny will have like an ad lib and I'll be like, keep that out of the EP. Do it live. You know what I mean? Like we'll do that kind of stuff live.
Nice.
We'll be some, you know, we'll have we had one of our songs, we had like 3 different versions. Why You Gotta, we had like 3 different versions of Why You Gotta.
Yeah.
We're like, you know, thinking in that performance mindset, going like, so we could do this live one day, like an acoustic, like a slow jams version of this upbeat song sort of thing, because we have it, you know. But we don't want to give all that out to the public in MP3.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sick.
I like that a lot. And for you, Renny, obviously, like you've got a little more performing experience. Did you always have like such good like stage presence and all that stuff, or did you have to learn that as you went along?
Definitely had to learn it, man. Like,
Definitely had to learn
definitely had to learn it.
No, I'm joking.
I'm speaking on, you know, man, like honestly, keep me humble too, you know, like definitely, man, like it's been such a long journey since the first time you met me on stage to what I'm doing now, you know. The more you do it, the more free you are to put your attention to other things. I could just be, you know, doing my verse without even thinking about it, while looking around, seeing where my other guys are at, looking into the crowd, where I'm stepping, all those types of little small things that you get to, you know, you get the privilege of actually being able to notice after you keep doing it over and over. Being a recording artist, it definitely is a different game. That's how AJ and I first met as well, because, you know, we spent a lot of time at home recording, and, you know, he knows me, like I'll sit there and do like 20 takes of one verse, more 40 takes, and just chopping here and there. Like, it's a whole different game, man. And like, you know, what I lack on stage, I'll try to make up for, at least in terms of like my like vocally. What I'll miss out on is what I'll try and make up for in, like, you know, the performance side and getting the crowd engaged and things like that. Like, you learn what, you know, your strengths and weaknesses are, and, you know, really important thing is that once we feed back to each other, that's where we're trying to, you know, improve on each other's skills as well. So we make up for it. And I guess like there definitely is a big difference. And for me, I would say, you know, I prefer doing things the way that it is now. You know, like, I like the recording side of things, but recording on my own, I'll bludge the hell out of it and take like years to finish something. Whereas with these guys, we'll get it done and then we'll perform it as well within the same like couple months. Yeah. You know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I want to take a quick intermission, because we want to play one of you, like, the DM season songs.
Yes, please.
Which song do you guys want to like showcase on our show today?
Oh man, what do you reckon?
I think it should be Foreign, right?
Foreign? Yeah, pop Foreign on.
All right, so describe Foreign for us, just to give a little, like, breakdown, a little spiel.
Foreign was the first single that we put out last year in March, I believe it was, and Foreign is sort of our introduction to the world. You know, it's 4 separate ethnicities. Outside of that, if you listen to the music, there's a lot of nuances in terms of, you know, there's heavy metal guitars in there. There's pop harmonies.
Wow.
There's world drums and things like that. So it's 4 different, you know, 4 foreign elements of music.
Right.
And yeah, and, you know, it's a bedroom jam.
Hey, shout out to the bedroom, guys.
Shout out to the bedroom.
A lot of foreign things going on there.
A lot of foreign things going on there. And yeah, it's just us having fun. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right,
and this is the DM season with Foreign.
Sweet.
I like the beat.
That's it with the cash flow, no other replacement. This the sound you ask for. Ain't this my greatest? No tainted women on telephones. You gon' do whatever I say. Bet you ain't tasted for it. Bet you ain't tasted for it, no. Bet you ain't tasted for it. Bet you ain't tasted for it, no. Bet you ain't tasted for it. Bet you ain't tasted for it, no. Bet you ain't tasted for it. Bet you ain't tasted for it, no.
Yes, I heard about your reputation, but you ain't heard nothing about mine. See the things that you complicated, and you're just wasting all of my time, babe. See, I've been searching for
sorry, yeah. So the beat is by Roland Chung, and we kind of jumped on it and added a whole bunch of different elements to it to make it what it is today. And yeah, Saturday's right. That's right. Beat make, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
that's sort of my take on it as well. It's like,
Speaking about this mic, yeah, shit. I had a real good point there, but it's gone now.
You were saying about beat making versus producing. I kind of agree with that as well. Yeah, I think that there's beat making and then there's producing. But I won't talk too much of it.
And that was the DM season by really cool. That was Foreign by the DM season.
That's fire.
What was your I'm looking at the picture, and who's the guy with the huge flat top?
That's Rude.
That's our boy Rude.
Hey.
That's Rudy.
He's definitely summer, bro. He's not
Yeah,
spring.
yeah,
Look at that
look. Summertime, springtime, whatever.
Hey.
Spring, bro.
Yeah, probably spring because his hair's springing up.
Yeah,
Nice.
Spring.
That's awesome. That's sick. So yeah, that sound is, I think,
It's in.
yeah, it's very R&B, very like modern R&B, and the four of you are, like you said, you're fairly different. You're seasons apart. Thank you.
He waited
Your
all
seasons
day for
apart.
that joke.
How did you guys come together to find this cohesive sound? Like, what was the?
I think it's the diversity that makes it
Yeah.
so what it is. I think it's the fact that we are different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to say that it wasn't a seamless thing, but it was just one of those things where it was all we asked from each other was to bring our best. That's all it
Nice.
was. And you know, that's four completely different styles. Like even as two rappers, me and Rue, you know, we kind of have very, you know, we went to the same school. We we're into the same type of things, but we're so different as musicians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what kind of makes it what it is.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I want to talk about something that you do that we do too, and there's a thing that that we're pretty good at, and I want to see
Not to
like
toot our own
I want to
horns.
hear your side of the coin because
all right.
it's funny that you are being interviewed in this podcast
Yes.
when
You're the
really
guest.
you as guests and
Yes.
you really also have your own podcast where you interview other people. So can you talk about your podcast?
Yeah, we have it's really more of like a
It seems like a web
it's more of a
series,
web,
right?
web show. I would
Yeah.
love it to sort of transition into that longer form, but it's called AMAs at the Creative Cave.
Shout outs to
And
Simon and
yeah,
Paulina.
shout out to Simon, man. We started this project with him because he had this incredible space, and we wanted to sort of also be able to collaborate with him because we've known him, like Renny's known him for such a long time, and he's a great guy. And so I think we always liked the idea of doing a podcast, and we always sort of talked about what would it be about, what would we call it. And we again went through a bunch of different names, a bunch of different ideas, and a friend of ours, shout out to Aiden, gave us this idea of he's big on Reddit, and he's big on the AMAs pages on Reddit, so he was sort of like, I have, what do you guys think about doing something like this? And then I kind of brought that to Renny, like, yo, what do you think about that? And it was from there, it was just like the idea of being able to talk to creatives, showcase what they're doing. And it's such a specific platform like Instagram.
Yeah.
That's how we usually find most of our interviewees. And yeah, we thought that was a unique idea to be able to ask them anything about their art, about their life, about themselves, and provide a platform for their fans, their followers. How you don't have to have a massive fan base, but you still can have those 50 people, 50 friends of yours that want to know a little bit more about yourself. We wanted to be able to do something like that. And
Yeah. For all the people who don't know, who aren't aware of Reddit and what AMA stands for, it stands for Ask Me Anything.
That's right.
And celebrities and people that are notable will go on Reddit and they'll say, "Ask me anything," and then people will just spam them with questions for them to answer.
Ah, nice. So like, is there a goal for this to go somewhere in particular? Like, do you want to reach like a particular goal for this show? Did you want it to extend it to, rather than just Instagram, did you want to extend it out to like probably a YouTube platform, or did you want to go podcast platform? Like, where did you want to go with this?
So we both have we really haven't spoken about that in a long time, but I remember when we first did talk about it, moving towards that podcast space was definitely the goal.
Yeah.
And right now, things are changing for Simon as well. And so, there's a lot of like logistical things that we got to figure out as to like, how do we continue shooting? How do we continue incorporating the Creative Cave brand and making Simon a part of it as well? So moving forward, I don't want to say too much about where we want to be in case that's not where we end up. But yeah, definitely those are things that we always think about, and we just want to be able to reach as many not just the creatives and influencers or whatever you want to call them, but also their people. We want to be able to reach as many people as we possibly can. Yeah. So that's always the goal.
Nice. And what's the driving force behind AMAs at Creative Cave? Like
curiosity.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's an underrated thing that, if I'm at a social setting and people don't know who I am and they find out that I make music and I do Midknight and I do this and that, people are generally interested. And that's not like a self-bragging sort of thing. But like people genuinely do want to know. And I think, if we're curious about, X person on Instagram doing X thing, then I'm sure there's an audience for that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We can't be the only ones thinking how we think. Yeah. We're not that smart, like
It seems like you guys have really altruistic goals towards wanting to inspire people, wanting to like really showcase and promote much like we do. And that's really, really notable. That's really really cool that you guys do that. But I'm thinking, I had a question I was going to ask. I forget it now. I was just thinking about how similar we are because, we want to showcase talent here in Sydney. We want to showcase talent in Australia for sure. If someone wanted to obviously follow in your footsteps, like obviously there are people who are out there, there are artists out there who are starting out. Let's say bye to Matt real quick. To edit point.
Bye, Matt.
That is, bro. Thanks for coming around, man.
Love you, bro.
it's like we just met.
I love you, bro.
It's DM season, right?